All right, everybody, welcome back to the GCO podcast for another deep dive into a topic that's pretty important for concrete placement inspectors.
Absolutely.
And we've been talking about this one for a while.
Right.
And it's bonding agents.
Ooh, yeah, those are so important.
They really are. And, they're often overlooked, but they're so crucial for making sure that old and new concrete, it's not like they're fighting each other.
Exactly.
Right. So we don't want any cracking or delamination.
No.
Those are the things that can really cause a lot of problems on a project.
Big time. Yeah, you don't want to have to go back and fix that.
Exactly. And that's where you guys come in as inspectors.
Yes.
Right. You're the ones who are going to be on site making sure that everything is done properly.
We are the guardians of the concrete.
That's right. So after this deep dive, you'll be able to spot any potential problems with bonding agents before they even happen.
It's like preventative medicine for your concrete.
Yeah, exactly. So let's just get right to it. What are concrete bonding agents? I mean, it's not Elmer's glue, right?
No. We're not talking about just any old glue here.
Okay.
These are specially formulated adhesives that create a really strong bond between old and new concrete surfaces.
I see.
So you can imagine like pouring a new slab right on top of an existing one.
Uh-huh.
You need something to hold those two pieces together, and that's where the bonding agent comes in.
And so that's why it's so important for structural integrity.
Oh, absolutely. Because if they separate, you're going to get cracks, and that can weaken the whole structure.
Right. So it's not just about aesthetics.
Yeah.
It's really about safety and the long-term performance of the concrete.
Exactly. It's got to last.
Right. Okay. So our source material talks about 4 main types of bonding agents.
Okay.
And I want to go through each of these.
All right.
So first up, epoxy resins.
Ah, yes, the heavy hitters.
They sound really strong.
Oh, they are incredibly strong, and they resist chemicals, too. Which is why they're used in places like bridges and industrial floors, where there's a lot of heavy traffic and harsh conditions.
Okay, so if I'm on site and I see epoxy resins, I can feel pretty good about that.
You can rest assured that bond is going to hold up.
Okay.
Because they're designed for those really tough situations where you absolutely cannot have any failure.
Got it. All right. Next up, polyvinyl acetate.
PVA.
PVA. Okay, that sounds a little bit less intense.
Yeah, it's a bit more sensitive to moisture, so it's better suited for indoor applications.
Like what kind of applications?
Like bonding concrete to walls or floors inside a building.
Okay.
But you got to watch out for moisture because too much of it can mess with the bond.
So as an inspector, that's something I'd really need to be looking out for.
Absolutely. You don't want to see PVA being used in a damp environment.
Got it. So location really matters.
It really does.
Okay, what about acrylics?
Oh, acrylics are great.
Those are used in paint too, right?
Yeah, they are. And that's because they offer a lot of flexibility, which makes them perfect for repairs and overlays, where you need a little bit of give. So think about patching a crack or creating a smooth surface over an uneven one.
Okay.
Acrylics can bridge those gaps and prevent cracking.
So for repairs, acrylics are a good choice.
Yep. Yeah.
All right. And last but not least, latex emulsions.
Ah, they're all-rounders.
They sound pretty versatile.
They work well both indoors and outdoors.
Okay.
And they form a really strong and durable bond, so you can use them in a lot of different applications.
So it's a good all-around choice.
Yep. You can't go wrong with latex emulsions.
Okay, so we've got our lineup of bonding agents, each with its own strengths and weaknesses.
That's right.
So how are they actually used on a project?
Well, like we talked about, they're essential for repairs.
Uh-huh.
Like if you've got a crack in a concrete slab, you'd use a bonding agent to make sure the repair material sticks to the existing concrete.
And what about overlays?
Overlays, too. When you put a new layer of concrete over an old one,
Right.
The bonding agent makes sure that overlay stays put.
Okay, now our source material also mentions composite structures.
Oh, yes, composite structure.
What are those?
That's when you're bonding different materials together.
Like what?
Like concrete and steel, for example.
Okay.
And the bonding agent acts as the bridge between those two materials.
So they work together as one unit.
Exactly.
Interesting. Okay, so now let's shift gears a little bit and talk about you guys, the inspectors.
Right.
What should you be looking for when you're overseeing the use of bonding agents on a project?
Well, the first thing is surface preparation.
Okay, what's so important about surface preparation?
Well, think about it like this. If you're trying to glue two pieces of sandpaper together, it's not going to stick very well.
Right.
It's the same with concrete. You need a good surface for the bonding agent to grab onto.
So what does a good surface look like?
It needs to be roughened up, clean, and free of any contaminants.
Contaminants like what?
Dirt, grease, old coatings, anything that could weaken the bond.
So if I'm on site and I see a smooth, dusty surface, that's a bad sign.
That's a huge red flag. You want to see a rough surface, almost like coarse sandpaper.
So I'm looking for texture.
Texture is key.
Got it. Okay, what about application?
Application is super important too.
Okay.
You need to follow the manufacturer's instructions exactly.
Really?
Yeah, think of it like baking a cake.
Okay.
You can't just throw the ingredients together and hope for the best. You got to follow the recipe.
So I need to make sure the workers are following the directions.
Absolutely.
All right, what about environmental conditions?
Oh, yeah. The weather can play a big role too.
How so?
Well, if it's too cold, the bonding agent might not cure properly. And if it's too hot, it could dry too quickly and crack.
Oh, wow.
So you got to make sure the temperature is within the right range for the specific bonding agent being used.
So I need to be checking the weather report.
You got it.
Okay. And then finally, compatibility.
Yes. Compatibility is key.
What do you mean by that?
You got to make sure the bonding agent is compatible with both the existing concrete and the new concrete.
Why is that?
Well, different types of concrete can have different chemical compositions.
Okay.
And if the bonding agent isn't compatible with both, you could end up with a weak bond that fails over time.
Oh, I see.
It's like trying to mix oil and water.
They just don't mix.
Exactly.
So it's got to be the right bonding agent for the job.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
But I think the key takeaway is that bonding agents are really important for the structural integrity of concrete structures.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And you as the inspector play a vital role in making sure that those bonding agents are being used correctly.
We are the last line of defense.
That's right. So I want to leave you with this question. What are your top priorities when you're overseeing the use of bonding agents?
Yeah, we want to hear from you guys.
Let us know in the comments below.
Share your insights.
And that wraps up our deep dive into the world of concrete bonding agents.
Thanks for joining us.
Remember to follow the GCO podcast and visit gcoportal.com for more content.
See you next time.
Bye, everybody.